we need to create systems that support us. I want to have feel-good productivity with my content creation.
I am hoping to start to build the actual systems and routines.
For a certain period of time, I want content creation to be my primary focus. And this is because creating content is a strategic move for me. It's a strategic move to help me build my personal brand and business from the ground up. And after 3 months of getting myself acquainted with the actions associated with creating content consistently, I'm ready to build a routine. And lately, in these past few weeks, I really have been kind of all over the place, quite jibble-jabbled, for lack of better terminology. I'm really ready to implement a routine and provide more structure into my life. So, show of hands, anybody, if you remember your class schedule from college. I know I do. And that class schedule really inspired my approach to building a routine. And that's because with your class schedule, you had these like non-negotiable blocks of time where you had to go to class and you had to schedule everything else that you wanted to do around those class time blocks. And for me, my primary obligation throughout the day is taking care of my daughter. There's specific time blocks that are non-negotiable, and I do need to fit everything else in my life that I want to do around that. So I just kept that in mind with trying to figure out how to build a routine, because that's also just been a daunting task to do when things are so disorganized and chaotic, and trying to bring that structure in can feel really hard. But the whole class schedule thing from college gave me a visual to work with. Now, what I'm about to show you is still a work in process, and it's going to take time. I really believe it's probably going to take another 3 months for me to be, I guess, consistent with following a routine. But I'm just happy to be in this space that I was been able to start to build one. Okay, so we are in my Notion, and this is just a very simple page that I created called weekly workflow and task organization. And there's like 3 parts to this, I guess, kind of. Plan work around primary commitments to effectively manage additional tasks and responsibilities. I talked about earlier, my main commitment is taking care of my daughter during the day. So what is your main commitment that you need to manage additional tasks and responsibilities, such as creating content, building your business, etc., like around? And then build a flexible system. Because we're managing a full-time responsibility while walking towards a new full-time thing, and basically trying to do 2 very time-demanding things at once, there has to be flexibility. So I definitely wanted to keep that in mind as I built this routine, and then get creative with how and when you work. For myself, I don't have that nice opportunity to do 4 hours of deep work and nice and neat in the afternoon. I realize I have to take what I can get. If that's 2 hours here, 20 minutes there, it all will sum up to me putting in a good enough amount of work on a daily basis that will allow me to see progress and growth in these different areas that I want to see that in. So what I did is I took some time to write out Onyx, her weekly schedule, her weekly daily schedule type of thing. And for you, I think it would be a good idea to do that with your, either your 9 to 5 or whatever your full-time commitment currently is. Get that schedule that you have to follow out onto something. So speaking to like that, build a flexible system, what I did in this table is just kind of like show myself the time blocks of the day where I can most likely focus on my work, and organizing it into this table just gave me more of a visual and to make it like clear to me. I have these task categories over here, and focus tasks are tasks that require undivided attention and focus, such as creative work, planning, or strategic thinking. Multitasking tasks are things that can be done alongside other activities or in short bursts of time, such as checking emails, making phone calls, managing social media. And then easy tasks are things that are relatively simple or routine and can be done without much effort or concentration, such as chores, errands, and admin stuff. And then this other table that I have over here takes the task categories that we talked about and pairs them with my work block so that I can just have at a glance like know typically between 10 and 12:30 p.m. I'm most likely going to be doing multitasking task / easy task as an example. So cool. And then I took some time to outline my weekly workflow. For me, a week starts on a Sunday and ends on a Saturday. So I have here what that flow is kind of gonna look like from a really basic bird eye view. And finally, I took time to write out a rough draft of what my daily routine will be. You'll notice there's not times associated with this here. It's just broken down between morning, late morning, early afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and finally evening, which I think is a good starting point for me. So just to run through it real quick, in the morning, I need to wake up before my daughter in order to get the most out of my day. So that will be something I will be working on. Just give me that personal time and self-care. Then she will wake up, we'll do what we need to do for her, have breakfast, and kind of start running her morning schedule. And then I can do those multitask, easy task type of things like communication related task. So in the late morning, early afternoon, still doing things related to my primary commitment during the day, Miss Onyx. And then nap time tends to roll around, and that's when I can get into some focused work on my business or my content. Afternoon, we have lunch, do some chores, some errands during playtime, and take short breaks for relaxation or quick personal tasks. I do want to pause for a minute here and just remind you, like, again, whatever your full-time commitment is, how do you have to structure your daily routine to still uphold that commitment, but now begin to balance a newer commitment that more than likely takes up a lot of time as well. So continuing on, late afternoon, early evening, continue engaging with daughter, involve her in easy tasks while preparing dinner, family dinner time with husband and baby girl. Then the evening, get her ready for bed, do another work block, and then wind down and get ready for bed, which has been one of the biggest. I can't really have a great morning routine and a structured morning routine if I don't have a wind down routine. And that's something that I really will be needing to focus on. I need to like cut back on staying up till 1 and 2 a.m. Meanwhile, it's 1:22 in the morning, you know? Like I said in the beginning, I do think it's gonna take at least 12 weeks, 90 days for me to actually see the fruit of building a routine. I have to really transition out of how I've been doing things into a way that will allow this life of doing content creation full time to be sustainable. I don't want to burn out. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and crash and burn, essentially. I want to keep this going, and learning to craft routine is going to be one of the most beneficial things I can do in 2024. So I hope this was helpful in some kind of way. The next thing for me is to get this into my calendar and really work on putting this into a system that is implemented into my life. Like, I'm looking at my calendar or something, my planner every day, and it's reflecting what I've been able to get clear on by doing this little exercise right here. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated in terms of how this is going for me, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And by the way, I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. The hair is looking crazy. I'm on some real cozy blanket type of wave right now, but yes, bye-bye.